Loneliness. It's a word we've all been hearing very often, especially of late. But most of us haven't really thought about it. Why should anyone care about loneliness? Before I begin, tell me, how many of you have ever experienced being lonely or seen a friend or a family member be lonely? All of us have, right? And this feeling has become such a big part of the human experience that a lot of us have simply accepted it. And this acceptance is dangerous. Loneliness levels are on the rise around the world, impacting people of every single age group. Now, I'm not going to bore you with statistics, but you must know. Not only is loneliness a precursor to lots of mental health problems, loneliness can also kill. Some studies equate the impact of being lonely to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Now, all of us as human beings are biologically wired to be part of a community. We need to feel like we belong somewhere. And when that need is not met, it leads to feelings of loneliness. But how do we bring about this feeling of belonging and increase social connectivity? Well, my friend Mihir Sharma and I, after reading up about loneliness, understood that the sense of belonging can be brought about by getting more people to talk to more people. Now, we might not be experts, but while working for a competition, we decided to try and do something about it. But honestly, how do you get people to talk? And what could two 11th graders do about it, anyways? We realized that to get people to start talking to each other, we would have to start out small and make sure people get familiarized with one another. After all, who are you more likely to start a conversation with? A complete stranger or someone whose face you've seen before? So we decided to start our work off in an apartment complex. Now, this one was where my grandparents lived, and I saw that they weren't involved with other people there. Our plan was to go there and organize events for the residents. Doing so would ensure that residents see each other more often, and so they would be more likely to talk. Our game plan is simple. We would first talk to people to understand their likes and dislikes, and what would be things that would compel them to come out of their homes and interact with other people. Then, based on their responses, we would shortlist common areas of interest and plan activities related to those. And a gardening activity is happening where you live. You'll want to go, right? And when you go, you'll meet other people who really like gardening too, and you'll connect. Common interests will make you have conversations. And the best part is, with careful planning, we could conduct activities without needing people to pay extra money. So my friend and I knocked on every door in that building. We were greeted with all sorts of things. Some people welcomed us with open arms, others just shooed us off. Still, we talked to a lot of people there. We saw a few things that seemed to interest almost everyone: music, reading, gardening, and of course, celebrations. With that in mind, we started off with our get togethers. We had a musical evening and festival celebrations. And when we started and things would be happening downstairs, there would always be people watching from their windows, but they wouldn't come down and join. It was these people we wanted would come join us. Still, people we spoke with did show up, and it was amazing because a sense of community was created. Unfortunately, we were interrupted by the pandemic. Other ideas we had, like gardening or poetry nights, couldn't be done. Meeting other people just wasn't possible. You couldn't even leave your house, and isolation increased. So, what do you do about loneliness now, with almost everyone preferring to stay at home, with no schools, and a fear of going to visit the elderly because, hey, what if we expose them to the virus? Most people don't want to risk it. And so, sort of isolation happens for everyone in different ways. Take my example. At school, during breaks, or in between classes, I talk to a lot of people: my juniors, my seniors, my classmates when you'd sit and gossip. Even if it was an entire conversation or just simple hi, I would get to talk to so many other human beings. But once school went online, those spaces that we had for face to face interactions, the breaks and the school hallways, they disappeared. And I, for one, lost touch with a lot of people. Because before they would be in front of me. So we talked. It was only natural. But now most of my conversations, people either didn't exist or were reduced to last minute questions like, oh, did we have physics homework? And of course, those sorts of questions are usually asked too late to actually start a conversation. Basically, there were very few people that I spoke with often. And I'm sure this has happened to everyone in different ways. We are just not exposed to so many people. The chances of having conversations have fallen. So, what to do? We took a project online. We got a team of really amazing volunteers, and every weekend we would sit and brainstorm different activities that people could do. Our theory was still the same. We wanted to create a sense of community by getting different people to participate in things they liked. So we organized little competitions, virtual events, even posting trivia quizzes on our stories. We tried to cover all sorts of interests. You don't like our activity in art? That's fine. Here, we have a fitness challenge for you. Or maybe you can go and tell us what book you've read recently. We also ran a virtual event for 1 month. We realized that one thing that seemed impossible during lockdown was making new friends. And I knew some people who were itching to see new human beings around them. So we invited strangers to sign up and come make new friends. They met weekly, interacted with each other, and played virtual games that we organized. It was a small recreation of one of those conversation spaces, and we received amazing feedback. On a more serious note, our Teach Tech Challenge encouraged young people to teach at least one person around them how to use technology like Zoom early on during the pandemic. So, I think what I want to say today is that you can always do something for a problem you see. No action is too small to matter. In fact, no person is too young or too old to actually change something. It's possible, and in this case, very simple to do. Just when you go home, or rather go away from this screen, call up that one friend you haven't spoken with in a while. Go sit next to your grandparents, or even better, teach them how to use Zoom or Google Duo so they can talk to people when they want. It doesn't take much to do something that helps people feel less isolated. And when you do something like this, you feel so much better too, because remember, their sense of belonging is also your sense of belonging. Thank you.